Weather is also better for week 2. We had a lot of rain, a lot of lightning delays, 2 days in a row at Ratliff Stadium.
Yes. Now, thanks for joining us tonight for Friday Night Blitz. Make sure that you join us over onto the YouTube show. Make sure that you scan and go over to our YouTube page. Thank you.
Live from the leader of high school football coverage in the Permian Basin, this is First Alert 7's Friday Night Blitz. Brought to you by Odessa College, United Supermarkets, and Dr. Pepper. Now, here's First Alert 7 Sports Director Jair Brooks Davis and Jensen Young.
Welcome back to week 1 of the Friday Night Blitz, the Permian Basin's most in-depth and most experienced high school football show where we cover the most games. And welcome to our YouTube show. So it's the extended Blitz. So now we get to go off and we can say a lot more.
Yes, we get to have more time with all of our games here. It's a good time. Good to be here with you, Jair. I'm really excited for it. Now, look, we had a lot of rain, a lot of lightning delays over the course of week 1, especially at Ratliff Stadium where I was tonight for Permian and Plano. Let's see what we got for some highlights here. Now, like I said, an hour-long weather delay for the Permian Panthers and the Plano Wildcats. They did get a little bit of playing in. Plano here inside the 30. Tyree Fisher hands it off. A lot of traffic, but look at this. Out comes Donald Smith. He puts the Wildcats in the red zone. Fisher going to take the snap, throw it to his left. It's incomplete. The Panthers defense holds strong, and they force a field goal, which is going to be sent through by Plano's kicker. Permian is going to take over the ball now. Jacob Garcia takes the snap, gives it up the middle to Gavin Black. He's going to shove his way forward like a balled up fist for a huge first down. Now Garcia with the snap, rolls to his left. He'll tuck it himself and run. Wow, look at that speed. Can he get there? He's going to be pushed out of bounds. They mark him at the 1-yard line. That brings up the very next play. Another handoff up the middle for Gavin Black. He's going to find the end zone. They are giving Permian its first touchdown of the season. As for this game right now, we are in the 4th quarter, and Permian has a 3-point lead, 13-10 over Plano.
That is right, Jensen. Now, I'm actually looking over at the score right now. It's still 13-10 in favor of Odessa Permian. So what have you noticed about them tonight to start off the season very quickly?
Well, I didn't get a whole lot of time because of that lightning delay, but I did get through the full first quarter for these two teams. Not bad, really, from Permian. It looked like they were running the ball a lot. That was the big focus, even with the return of their quarterback and the loss of Justice Loya at running back from last year.
Now, folks, I know Justice Loya, he's over at UTPB right now, but look out for Gavin Black and what he's able to do for that Permian Panther mojo offense.
He did look pretty good.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid running back. I believe he has an offer from UTEP, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Now, we had more games going on tonight in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Midland High visiting South Lake Carroll to kick off the season. The Bulldogs, they trailed 14-7 in the first quarter. Elijah McCoy, he's going to get the handoff, and he's able to elude the defense. Now he swerves over to his left, and he's able to take this all the way to the end zone for the touchdown as Midland, they tie it back up.
Way to find some space there.
That's right. Now South Lake, they always have a response right after Angelo on the quarterback keeper. He takes it by himself. He rushes to the end zone for the touchdown as South Lake, they go back up 21-14, and the final score was South Lake 48, Midland High 24. But I'll tell you this, Jensen, the Bulldogs, they fell tonight. Obviously, we can look at the scoreboard, but one thing I will say is that they stayed competitive and they stayed pretty true to themselves.
Yeah, where we left off in the highlights, it was 21-14. Obviously, South Lake, a fantastic team that no one really loves to see on their schedule, I wouldn't say. No, I wouldn't want to see them on my schedule. It's going to be a tough game. Big win there, 48 points for South Lake.
Now, if I'm not mistaken there, now folks, South Lake, they came into this game ranked number 7 in the state of 6A. So that's a pretty tough matchup. But let's focus a little bit more on Midland High. They're playing really tough opponents, and I really think that they have a good shot at winning district this year in 2024. Now, last year's district champions, the Midland Legacy Rebels tonight, they were also in the Fort Worth area, and they played Allen, and they would fall 61-0, which is pretty shocking for a high-flying offense, Jensen.
Yeah, they won the district last year, made it pretty far in the playoffs, and to start off week 1 with a 61-point shutout against you, wow, that is tough. I know that Legacy is going to come back with some vengeance next week for sure, Jair.
That is 100% right. And last year they fell to Allen in the third round. I was there live in Abilene, and I mean, it was a pretty tough loss. This is a pretty tough loss, and I mean, I think that the Rebels, they're still going to find their way. Like I said earlier during Pigskin Previews, they're not rebuilding, they are reloading, and they are going to find their way.
Yes, I love that. I love that little saying, only ever reloading, not rebuilding. I love that from Coach Clint Hartman.
They're reloading, they're not rebuilding. Now we had more games going on here in Odessa. Last night, Odessa High, they opened up the 2024 season against Amarillo. So on the opening kickoff over to Amarillo, Bryson Brown, he catches the ball. He's going to swerve to his left, and he's going to go back over to his right, going past the Bronco defense. He's taking this all the way to the end zone with a touchdown off of the opening kickoff as Amarillo, they took an early 6-0 lead. Now Odessa would have the ball back right after, but lightning would cause a delay. So the rest of the game was canceled as Amarillo, they led 6-0. I don't even think it's fair to say that they won 6-0.
Yeah, really, in the first quarter, like you were saying, it's just suspended. I don't know if we're going to end up having that game resumed at any point. So, yeah, it goes down right now. It's 6-0 for Amarillo. But, I mean, we didn't even get through one quarter of play.
That is right, Jensen. So hopefully the weather is going to be better next week within the local area, and we're going to see more of our teams, and we're going to see what they are made of.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping, especially at Ratliff Stadium, where it was yesterday and today, big lightning delays. At least my game got to go on with the Permian Panthers. Unfortunately, not much action for the Broncos for you yesterday. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, some better weather next week. Let's take it over and see what the Monahans Lobos are doing. They had a game against Shallow Water, the Mustangs, and it's a loss for the Lobos. 14 for them. Shallow Water scoring 17. Monahans starting off 0-1 this year. Obviously, they're going to have to reload a little bit with a new quarterback after Chino Navarrete graduated. He's a part of the UTPB Falcons now, Jair.
That is right. Now, Monahans, I don't even think that I want to say that they are rebuilding as well as they are reloading. So Monahans, they're going to, they still have a couple things to work out, and I think that, they're going to be set to go, throughout the rest of the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, still under head coach Fred Staub. He's done some great things with that team, so best of luck to Monahans going forward. Hopefully they can improve from that 0-1 record. Let's see what happens. Kind of going a little bit north up to Childress against the
Greenwood Rangers.
Yes, against the Greenwood Rangers. Let's see what happened for them.
Yes, that's right. So Childress, they were hosting the Greenwood Rangers tonight. We'll start out with the offense for Childress. Jake Raid, he backs up and looks downfield for a target. He finds Cash Hightower in the end zone for the touchdown.
What a catch.
That's right. Now Greenwood, they would have a response shortly after. Nathaniel Romero gets the handoff, and he goes to his right. He goes past the cameraman that is, and he takes it to the end zone for the touchdown. Let's check out the final score of this game. Greenwood, 42, Childress, 19. So pretty good day to be a Ranger, right?
I would say so. Greenwood was feeling pretty good. Head coach Brian Hill in his, I believe, second year with the Greenwood Rangers. He was very optimistic about his team. They returned a lot of guys, especially on offense, including at quarterback, wide receivers, very consistent from last year as well. They didn't have a great year last year, but they're hoping that the consistency can really spark some good offense for them this year. That was proven with the 42-19 scoreline there for Greenwood, Jair.
Yeah, so our 4A teams, they're going to be pretty competitive this year, Jensen, like Greenwood, Monahans, Pecos is still in the mix, Fort Stockton, and Andrew. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough division for Greenwood, but as we were saying, hopefully for them, hopefully their experience can really prove to matter here in 2024. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But anyways, let's talk about our Band of the Week that we had coming up. We had Forsan and Coahoma face off for Band of the Week. Let's see who won.
Here's tonight's Band of the Week, brought to you by America's Wholesale Furniture.
All right, Coahoma taking it over Forsan, 5,128 for Coahoma, a little over 4,000 for Forsan. More than 9,000 votes on this Band of the Week. Thanks so much to everyone for participating in that. Now, let's hear from the Coahoma band, and they got the banner. Well, congratulations to Coahoma on winning Band of the Week. Let's see how they fared, Jair, in the Howard County Bowl. It always brings some good action, too. Big Spring force-hand strikes first. Here's Nicholas Holloway. He's going to take a snap, roll out to his left. Seeing Hayden Bolin way downfield. He's going to reel it in for force-hand's first score of the year. Let's see Coahoma on the other end now. Boyd Cox is going to hand it off to Jaden Vineyard. He takes it out wide to the left, and he brings it in for Coahoma's first touchdown of the year. Coahoma goes up 16-6 here. Force-hand needs something, but it's a bad snap. Holloway does recover it, but it's out once again. Coahoma forces its second turnover of the game. Andre Russian brings in the touchdown pass from Boyd Cox. Now here, force-hand coming up. They're going to need something. Holloway gives up the middle to Hudson Stockton, who forces his way in for the score. It's a close call, but it is called a touchdown for force-hand. Now in the final play of the first half, Cox snaps, looks to his left, finds Landon Wells. He gets a good block from Jaden Vineyard right there, and he will find the end zone as the clock hits triple zeros. Coahoma going into the half with a 28-14 lead, and they would end up winning the game. Force-hand did close it up a little bit, but 34-28 in favor of Coahoma.
Yes, and also, Jensen, I didn't want to cut you off. I also have a score update for us.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the Permian Panthers, they actually got the win tonight over Plano, 13-10.
So there you go. Finished out exactly how we had it in our last graphic. So congratulations to the Panthers. They get a week 1 win there.
Yeah, I just didn't want to disturb him. I know that
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was a little bit on a roll there with Coahoma. Great job by the Coahoma Bulldogs. That's always a fantastic game to start off the year. All of Howard County really comes together for that. It was the Force-hand Buffaloes, the Coahoma Bulldogs at Big Spring High School.
That's a pretty good mixture, pretty much. And I mean, it must have been a very fun experience. And I've been here this is my 3rd year doing the Friday Night Blitz. Now, I've never even been to the Howard County Bowl. This guy, he gets the chance to go to the Howard County Bowl. So, I mean, it sounds like
it was definitely a good time. Those motorcycles were going all around the tracks for so long. I mean, they took like 3-4 laps probably around there. It was a lot of fun to see. And, of course, some incredible action. It was a very unorthodox game. It finished with a pretty normal scoreline, especially at halftime being 28-14, but I believe just 2 point after attempts were made all game. There's a lot of 2-point conversions. One of them was actually brought back for 2 points by Coahoma.
Now, very quickly before we move on, just Jensen, what have you noticed between both of these as they enter the rest of the season?
Well, I can speak a little bit more towards Coahoma. I talked to them at the beginning of the season, and it's another year with head coach Chris Jocelyn. It's another year with junior quarterback now, Boyd Cox, leading the way. It's another year with senior Jaden Vineyard at running back. The offensive line is very intact from last year, returning 4 of 5 starters. Actually, I believe the Force-hand offensive line is also returning 4 of 5 starters. So the Coahoma team, though, looks really, really good. It's a young defense. Some big playmakers on offense are contributing heavily on defense, but the young defense, very experienced offense. We'll see how it ends up for them. Obviously, not bad with a week 1 win, though.
So for all of you fans out there, make sure that you go to your town's games, whether you're from Coahoma or Force-hand. Both of these teams should be very competitive this year. Now we're going to move on. Armando Gomez was over in Fort Stockton. He has the highlights for us.
A good performance from the Fort Stockton Panthers defense, 3 turnovers in the first half, and the offense did their part and took advantage of these opportunities. Check out the highlights from the first half. As San Angelo, Lakeview, and Fort Stockton meet in the middle of the field looking for the first win of the season. On the first throw of the season for San Angelo, Lakeview, it was picked off by Austin Perez, and he puts the team in good field position. The Panthers offense hit the ground running quickly. Braylon White bulldozes his way to the end zone to score the first touchdown of the season. St. Angelo Lakeview ready to punt the ball away, but a high snap and Panthers were able to recover the football. Fort Stockton back in the red zone. Christian Esparza rolls to his right and finds his wide receiver Fabian Rodella for the second touchdown of the night. Before the second quarter, the Fort Stockton defense makes another interception as Isaiah Rios reading the eyes of the quarterback to make the play. The halftime score is Fort Stockton 21 and San Angelo Lakeview 7.
All right, not a bad result there for Fort Stockton. The defense, as Armando was saying, playing a massive role, getting 3 turnovers in the first half. Ended up as a 30-27 win for the Panthers over the Chiefs of Lakeview, Jair.
That is right. Now, Fort Stockton, they should be very competitive this year. They lost Corbin Luna, who graduated, and they also have a new quarterback at the helm. Remember Marco Garcia? He was actually part of the Permian Basin FCA All-Star game.
Yes.
And we covered him. So they have Cash Norman under center this year. So Fort Stockton, they have a lot of belief in themselves, and Jeremy Hickman, I think that he's preaching a lot of confidence into his team, not just on the field, but also off the field as well. So Fort Stockton is going to be a fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with them. Let's keep it moving, though. Let's take it up to Stanton for the Stanton Buffaloes and the Crane Golden Cranes. Tyler Poglich was there. Let's see what he's got for us.
Thank you, Jair and Jensen. It was a rainy one here tonight in Stanton, but let's take a look at the first half highlights. On the first drive for the Golden Cranes, QB Tyson Brents would miss the snap after his center snapped it a little high, which would cause a turnover for the Cranes, setting up Stanton in excellent field position. With the great field position, the Buffaloes QB Jake Benedict will get the brotherly love treatment with a tush push, giving the Buffaloes an early 6-0 lead after a blocked field goal. The next drive for the Buffaloes would also find the end zone after Benedict's intended pass was a little high, but it doesn't matter as senior Troy Milligan was there to get the rebound and take it to the house to extend the lead up to 13-0. But it wouldn't stop there. On the Buffaloes' next drive that would find the end zone, Emilio Gadina would punch it in, making the score 20-0 at just the end of the first quarter. The Buffaloes led the Golden Cranes 27-0 at halftime.
Looks like a big game for Stanton, Jair. This is what we have last reported. We do have some conflicting scores right now. I think we're still waiting for the final score. But in the third quarter, at least, Stanton 34-0 over the Golden Cranes.
That is right, Jensen. Now, one thing I wasn't able to expand upon during the regular show was that both of these head coaches, this is their first years as head coaches in their new program. So Robert Ontiveros, I mean, he came from Monaghan's, as a matter of fact, and he's here with the Crane Golden Crane. So not the start that you want, but I think that Crane, I know for sure, not even I think, but I know for sure that they're going to be able to battle back, especially when they get into district play too.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Stanton's offense is pretty good, and also their defense as well, shutting out, as of now, the Crane Golden Cranes. Not a bad one there. Let's keep it a little bit moving, though, as well, and check on the Pecos Eagles, Jair.
That's right, Pecos. They were able to get the win tonight over Snyder, 41-7. So pretty nice start off to the season for the Pecos Eagles.
Yes, big win for Pecos there. They're going to be taking on Levelland next week. But yeah, I mean, you can't ask for much more than a 34-point victory in week 1.
Yes, that is right, Jensen. Absolutely.
All right, let's see. Let's check out now our first 7 player of the week. This is going to be a pretty exciting one. This week's player is going to be coming from last night's Howard County game, Jair. When we get to that, again, that was the Coahoma Bulldogs and the Forsan Buffaloes. A very, very exciting game we just went over a little bit ago. So let's check out the player of the week.
The player of the week is brought to you by Ranger Clinic.
So it is Coahoma's quarterback, Boyd Cox. Cox threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for 1, I believe passing over 200 yards as well, Jair, in Coahoma's 34-28 win over Forsan. Now, he was a very big part in the team's win, but, I mean, obviously he's going to give the credit to his teammates.
The line did a very good job of setting the blocks, and then the receivers, I mean, they just flew around. They were manning on us, and then we just took advantage of that. And the rushing, it was the biggest hole I've ever seen as a quarterback, and I just took it right down.
Yeah, huge game for Boyd Cox there. Congratulations on being our first Alert 7 player of the week. The Andrews Mustangs took on Clint. A big win, 34-7 for Andrews there, starting off the year, again, 1-0 now.
That's right. Pretty good start for the Andrews Mustangs. They're in that slot T offense, their second year, so they're going to be well improved this year, Jensen, especially with Jay Sean DuBose, too.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
That's good. Best of luck to the Andrews Mustangs this year. As for Kermit, let's see what we have for Kermit.
So they were going up against Post earlier tonight. Here comes Kermit. They're able to go over, take down the quarterback right there. And
not bad from their defense, not a pretty short gain for them. Oh, wow, not a good snap there, but let's see if they can make something happen. Kermit passing it. Wow, what a catch and what a touchdown. Off the bad snap, connecting with number 15 there for the touchdown. Great play there. Now Post passes it It's received and immediately brought down by Kermit. Nothing happening there. Let's see what it ends up being for Kermit versus Post. And wow, Post really making it happen over Kermit. A 52-6 win, Jair.
Pretty good start for Post, but for Kermit, not the start that you want. So they are, I'm sure that, well, I know that they're definitely going to do whatever they can just to, get ready for week number 2.
Yeah, and week 2 for Kermit is going to be the game of teams really wanting to make a change from week 1. They're going to be playing Crane next week. Crane, as we just saw, shut out right now by the Stanton Buffaloes. Kermit, big loss, over 40 points to the Post Antelopes. So, yeah, really not what you want to see there.
Absolutely not.
All right, let's check out our First Alert 7 play of the week now.
Now for tonight's play of the week, brought to you by Home Charm Realty.
All right, this is a fun one, Jair. Forsan and Kahoma. Forsan with the ball, and it's going to be intercepted by Kahoma. That is Noah Loya. A huge return for him. Watch this as he goes all the way across the 50-yard line. At least a 60-yard return for Noah Loya there. It was a great play for him and a very impactful one because just a couple of plays later, our player of the week, Kahoma quarterback Boyd Cox, scampered in for Kahoma's second touchdown of the game. Kahoma would end up winning that 34-28. But yeah, what a crucial play by Noah Loya to get that massive interception, one of 2 interceptions in the game. The other one was a pick 6 by Bryce Davis there, but a very crucial interception, as I said, leading to the second touchdown of the game.
And definitely brought some momentum to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and they ended up, like I said, winning the game 34-28. Not a bad one there. Let's check on the Balmorhea Bears. Midland TLCA and Balmorhea, actually. Midland's Marcos Cortez takes the handoff here for a great run. He's got plenty of space down there before he's brought down. Not much going on for TLCA, but Balmorhea's Cameron Beza here. He's going to take it to the left, evading a couple of tacklers as he is in. Touchdown, Balmorhea. Now this next play, it looks like this is going to be Monty Shackelford that gets the carry way out there. He's going to run it the full length of the field for another Balmorhea touchdown. Balmorhea just poured it all over Midland TLCA, and that continued for the entire game as it is a massive 58-0 win for the Balmorhea Bears.
That game ended at halftime, Jensen, but they poured it on over Midland TLCA just as the rain poured it all over them. But anyways, shout out to Callie Cummings for getting us this video. I like the way how it came out, actually.
Yes, thank you, Callie. Thank you for getting those highlights. Congratulations to Balmorhea on a big week 1 win. Yeah. I want to we do have the final score as we were saying, I believe earlier, for the Permian Panthers over the Plano Wildcats. It was 13-10 in favor of Permian, Jair.
Yes, so Permian, they had a pretty nice start to the season. We talked about Midland Legacy, Midland High, and Odessa. So Permian, they're definitely going to contend for the district title this upcoming year. And I mean, Plano, it's a renewed rivalry going back to several years ago. So it's good for them that they're able to get some bragging rights. Yeah, we talked to Coach Ellison at the beginning of this week. He was really excited about this rivalry that they played a little bit here and there, especially in the playoffs many years ago. But when Coach White for Plano got to Plano last year, he called up Coach Ellison and said, hey, we need to renew this rivalry between our 2 teams. And it was renewed tonight, Yeah. And it ended up as a win for Permian. Yeah, I just wish that the game could have started at 7 o'clock. Instead of 8, maybe. It was a long delay there for sure. Yeah, we could have definitely had some more highlights for all of you. So don't be mad at us. Please blame Mother Nature. Yeah, Mother Nature and the cloud. Sorry, Mother Nature, we love you, but I mean, come on, please. Yeah. With the lightning and all that, come on. For an hour? Yeah. Oh my goodness. The weather should be good next week, though. Hopefully, especially at Ratliff Stadium. We had 2 days in a row with lightning delays. Your game for Odessa versus Amarillo. I mean, you got to see not even 1 full quarter. You got to see maybe 1 drive, if we can call it that. 1 drive and a lot of lightning strikes. A lot of lightning strikes. There you go. Yes. Now, there's also some more games that did not games that did not get played tonight. It was El Paso Riverside and the Big Spring Steers. Both games will be, the games will be played tomorrow. The game will be played tomorrow because of inclement weather today. So I guess that Jensen Young had better luck in Big Spring last night. Yes, yesterday was a little bit better in Big Spring. Hopefully tomorrow is better in Big Spring as well. We saw some pictures of the stadium in Big Spring, and
I mean, I don't see how you could play a game in that, let alone the lightning. But also, I mean, those clouds were so dark. It looked like they got a lot of rain. So best of luck to Big Spring tomorrow. Hopefully we can at least get a game, whatever the result may be. You're just looking to play a game week 1, really.
Yeah, it must be a lake over there in that stadium. But speaking of lake, over in Big Lake, the Reagan County Owls, they got the win last night, 32-0 over Olney, shutting them out. Now, I caught up with the team a couple of weeks ago. Coach Brown, he's very confident in what they're able to do this year down in 2A.
Yeah, well, best of luck to Reagan County. As we've said a couple of times so far tonight, not a bad way to start week 1. A shutout win, 32-0 over the Cubs of Olney there. Wow, big win for them.
Kason Brown and Jared Brown both playing both sides of the ball. So interesting, they, scoring points and of course shutting out the opposing team.
Yeah, so let's check out some more scores. We have McCamey against Ozona. Another shutout here, not in favor of the team in our area though. McCamey losing to the Lions of Ozona 60-0. Big loss there for McCamey. Hopefully they can bounce back in week 2. As for the Iraan Braves, they took on Smyre, a big win, 51-8 for Iraan. Iraan's looking for some big things this year as well. I mean, they have a lot that they're looking to replace in the form of Cole Bowman at quarterback. His father is the head coach, and he has another Bowman on the roster as well. So a lot of Bowmans in Iraan. They really make this team work, but definitely the result that they were looking for week 1. Hopefully for them, they can continue it as we go into week 2.
Well, Jensen, what can you say about the Iraan Braves that fans should be excited about this year?
I mean, I think it's going to be a really improved team from last year. At least that's what Coach Bowman was telling me. He's pretty excited about the offense that he has, excited about the defense that he has as well. Not going to be looking crazy different from last year necessarily. So any fans of Iraan, you can probably expect similar in terms of how they run for Iraan this year. But yeah, they're looking for some big things this year. Let's check out the Alpine Bucks. They had Wellington week 1. There's a loss to Wellington, 38-12. The Skyrockets, love that mascot name, by the way. The Skyrockets getting a big win over the Bucks. As for the Odessa Compass Cougars, they had Sterling City, the Eagles, getting the 3-point win, 41-38.
So you caught up with Alpine and Odessa Compass, Jensen. What do you think about these teams, and what have you noticed about them heading into the season?
Yeah, so it's another year with Andy Smith in Alpine. Excuse me, not Odessa. In Alpine, they had a very tough week 1 schedule with Wellington, but they're looking for some big things. I believe I think that coach was telling me it's been since, I think, 2001 or maybe 2003 since the Alpine Bucks have made it to the 3rd round of the playoffs. They're really hoping to do that this year. One of the players was telling me, we're going to show teams this year that we are the Fighting Bucks, and they're going to show what it means to be a Fighting Buck, and that is just trying your hardest through the entire game. That's what they were really trying to do. Unfortunately, not the result that they were looking for. As for Odessa Compass, its first year under head coach Bo Smith coming from Legacy. Pretty good roster for him that he's got. Unfortunately, not the result that they're looking for week 1, losing by 3, but he is optimistic about his team. How's the quarterback play going to end up? How's the running game going to end up for them? Who knows? But he's pretty excited about the team that he has around him.
As he should be. He's also coming from Midland Legacy over to Odessa Compass. So,
as we know, a very successful team in Midland Legacy as well that he's coming from.
Yes. Now, for Bo Smith, the key about him is that he could more than just wins and losses on a football field, but wins on a football field.
I mean, you do need the wins on the football field.
Wins on the football field. He could also establish a culture over at Odessa Compass, and he has the ability to grow it into a powerhouse, especially he comes from the coaching tree of Clint Hartman and other guys like Will Murchison and plenty others. So I think that Odessa Compass has a lot to look forward to. A tough loss tonight, but a positive future to come ahead.
Another tough loss that we had was the Wink Wildcats. They played the Lubbock Christian Eagles 40-29 in favor of Lubbock. Wink was looking to do some big things this year. They had a great year last year. I believe that they eclipsed 10 wins last year. Looking for big things this year as well. Not what you'd look for week 1, 0-1 to start the year.
And they're going to be going up against Stanton next week. So that's going to be a pretty fun one to think about. I'm going to start thinking about who I'm going to send over to that game.
Yeah, we saw Stanton's offense was very impressive, as well as their defense against the Golden Cranes tonight. we don't necessarily have the final score yet, but excuse me, a 34-0 shutout in the third quarter is the last that we had reported. So, I mean, that could be an interesting game between an expectedly very good team in Wink versus a proven week 1 very impressive team in Stanton. So best of luck to those teams next week. Well, that should be a very exciting game to plan out. As for Midland Christian taking on Graham, another shutout week 1. Something about week 1 shutouts, Jair. 23-0 in favor of the Steers out of Graham.
No, nothing out of the Steers. Well, I mean, nothing out of Midland Christian out in Graham. But yes, Midland Christian, pretty not the best start. They also have a whole new quarterback with Colton Newsom graduating, and he's also over at UTPB. So obviously Midland Christian, they have a couple things to figure out going forward.
Yeah, we saw Colton Newsom in the FCA All-Star game. You and I both, Jair. He looked pretty good in that. Obviously, he's doing pretty well, but now he's gone. What can Midland Christian do? Not much week 1. Hopefully they can bounce back for themselves week 2. As for the Ranken Red Devils, they took on the Happy Cowboys. Love that name as well, the Happy Cowboys. And they must be pretty, get this, happy about this win. Oh, what a dad joke there, Jair. I apologize for that one. Anyways, 44-38 over the Red Devils of Ranken. Ranken was really hoping for some big things this year. They had a couple big losses. This is one of our 6-man schools. They had a couple big losses, including Blake Bunger was one last year. He was a star for Ranken. They do have the baby Bunger on the team now. I believe that there's 3 Bunger brothers in there. They're on the youngest one now. So hopefully the Bunger success can continue for Ranken. They were looking for big things this year, but a 6-point loss week 1.
They're going to be better in week 2. I know that. Now, into more scores in more 6-man games. Imperial Buena Vista, they got the best over Iraan County tonight, 59-14. But as for the Grand Falls Royalty Cowboys, they fell to Water Valley 54-6. And now we have an update on this game between Crane versus Stanton. Right now it is the fourth quarter, and the score is Stanton. They lead 47-7 over Crane. So
Crane broke the shutout at least, so you do have that. Crane's looking for big things this year, as you were saying, but well, we'll see what ends up happening for them. But they did break the shutout. Stanton scoring even more, 40-point lead right now, 47 points for that Buffalo offense.
Now, I met with their new head coach, Jensen. They want to go fast a lot more in this year, and there's about 7 minutes left in this game, but Stan, they can prove to be a force down in 2A, 3A. So it's going to be fun to see what they can do going forward.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for them. Obviously, games still continuing, as you said, about 7 minutes left in the game, but Stanton up big. Now, we have a couple games tomorrow. That is Garden City against Nazareth, as well as at the college level, UTPB. They take on Western New Mexico. They had a massive win last year over Western New Mexico, that is UTPB. I believe they only allowed 3 points in last year's game to Western New Mexico. Jair, what do you know about these two teams?
Well, Garden City head coach Jeff Jones, he's always going to keep Garden City competitive. I met with them a few weeks ago. They were trying to keep that Garden City tradition of winning seasons alive, and they feel like they have something to prove this year. As for UTPB, I mean, the thing that they're trying to prove this year is that they can go back-to-back and they're able to keep that level of success. I saw UTPB a lot more closely last year, and it's a very fun team to watch this year. And as a matter of fact, about 2 months ago, some players were over at Rattle Stadium and I was talking to them, and running back Corey Harris actually told me, he said, I think that we're going to be even better this year.
Yeah, going into the year, as far as the Lone Star Conference goes, they are the 3rd-ranked team according to coaches and media, etc. But they're ready to take that chip on their shoulder, use that. Last year, they were 7th going into the year. They ended up winning the conference, 3rd this year going into the conference. They think that they should be number 1 easy. A new quarterback for them in Dylan Graham. Last year, they had Kenny Hernser. Hernser still in Odessa as the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator for them.
That's right. Now, one thing, well, I wouldn't say new quarterback in Dylan Graham. I would say returning quarterback in Dylan Graham, because
a
Dylan
change
Graham,
at quarterback maybe.
Yes, So for all of you that are watching us, don't forget, UTPB will be playing tomorrow at Ratliff Stadium. That game will be starting at 6 o'clock. You should be there, right?
Yes, I'll be at Ratliff Stadium. I'll be there for that game. I'll see you live at tomorrow's show at 6, and I'll have the full highlights tomorrow at 10 as well. We should see a pretty good game for UTPB.
Don't forget, it's free, folks. But anyways, yes, so that will wrap it up in tonight for the Friday Night Blitz. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube show and joining us on First Alert 7, and we will see you next week for Week 2.